Everyone, and welcome. I've got 6 o'clock, and I will call the Paulding County Board of Commissioners meeting to order on August 23rd, 2022. Sandy is calling in. Miss Commissioner Sandy Caker is also with us. And I'd like to ask the marshal if you'd bring our sign-up sheet up, please. If you've got a cell phone on, which I may have, good time to turn it off. Thank you. And as is our opening of every meeting, we'd like to turn it over to the Lord, and we're going to ask Jason Phillips, the county attorney, if he'll bring our invocation. Stand if you're able.
Dear Lord, we just come to you tonight, this evening. Father, we ask you to be in this room through the Holy Spirit. Give this board wisdom and know-how on how to make decisions tonight on these agenda items. Lord, we ask that your divine presence here just be here to guide them along. Father, there are issues regarding how to properly put sewer into our facilities. Father, how to properly allow for and limit the size of subdivisions so that our subdivisions can be safe, can be best utilized to accommodate a reasonable amount of people. But Lord, how to be able to get those people out of the subdivisions should problems arise. Lord, give this body guidance on this. Father, teach them and show them how to balance the rights of landowners against and with the rights of the people of this county who surround property that is owned by particular owners in zoning situations. Lord, just give them the know-how on to do the things that are in accordance with your will. Father, help us to respect one another. Be with us here tonight. And Lord, help us to lift up your name and help the things that we do here to be honorable to you. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jason. The August 9th, 2022 work session minutes and the August 9th, 2022 board meeting minutes are available for review. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the minutes by Commissioner Stover. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Galloway. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Announcements. We don't have any this evening. Invited guests, none. The first bid award is item number 2, and it's action to award the purchase of 2 Ford Transit 150 vans to the lowest bidder, which is Hardy Family Ford, in the amount of $66,677.64 each. SPLOST funds will be used to purchase these vehicles. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Dunn. I'll second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Carries 5-0. No reports from committees and departments. Public participation on agenda items.
Mr. Chair, if I can just have a moment to address the list that we've got here before us.
Okay.
Just to be clear, we have 4 speakers that have signed up. This is a sign up for agenda items. And as a part of this, the speaker is required to identify the agenda item. The items that are listed are not part of our agenda tonight. These would be non-agenda items. So those people that desire to address the board on non-agenda items are required to sign up before 5 o'clock, I believe on Fridays, the week before. We do have 2 people, I believe, that are here tonight that have taken advantage of that opportunity, but these 4 listed items here are not eligible for, because they're not agenda items.
Okay. Thank you for that clarification. Under the consent agenda is action to approve the consent agenda items that we read through this morning. At 10 o'clock, we don't have to read them again, so I'll just entertain a motion. One of our commissioners.
I would make a motion to pass those.
We got a motion to approve by Commissioner Galloway. Is there a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Caker on the phone. And any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. We have no old business. Under new business, item number 6 is action to authorize the chairman to execute a letter to the Georgia Department of Audits appealing the results and conclusions from the 2021 sales ratio study and authorizing the Board of Tax Assessors to act as the county's representative therein. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Stover. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dunn. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? It carries 5-0. Number 7 is action to approve the sanitary sewer line improvements and existing sewer line test project located in at the Paulding County Airport to Southern Pipe and Grading LLC in the amount of $1,834,703.10. This is ARPA funding, the American Rescue Plan Act funds that'll be used on this project. It's located in Sandy's Post 2. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Caker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Galloway. Is there discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Item number 8 is action to approve Holt Consulting Company LLC to provide construction phase services for the sanitary sewer line improvements and the existing sanitary sewer line testing at the Paulding County Airport in the approximate amount of $157,400. ARPA funds, American Rescue Plan Act funds, federal funds will be used for this project or for this study and located in Post 2. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Caker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Stover. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Carries 5-0. New business number 9 is action to adopt Resolution 22-33 authorizing condemnation of tract of land for the construction, operation, and maintenance of a public sewer line comprised of 500.5 square feet of permanent sewer easement and 2,163 square feet of temporary construction easement, being in the tax parcel number 141.1.2.007.0 in the 2nd District, the 3rd section of Paulding County, in the state of Georgia, by the declaration of taking method pursuant to the provisions of OCGA, that's Official Code of Georgia Annotated, 22-3-140 and 32-3-4, located in Post 1. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Dunn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Galloway. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Item 10 is action to approve the Copper Mine WRF membrane expansion project contract amendment number 3 for construction management and additional services during construction to Tetra Tech in an amount not to exceed $713,056 using ARPA funds. It'll be used for this project, and it's located in Post 3. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Galloway. Is there a second? I'll second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Item 11 is action to adopt ordinance 22-12, amending Article 1.6.7 of the Development Regulations of Paulding County, Georgia, regarding the maximum number of residential dwelling units with only one street access. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion approved by Commissioner Galloway. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Caker. The only reason I'm hesitating here is that we don't have the number of dwelling units in this motion. Is that okay there?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the resolution is actually set at 120, I think, as Mr. Jones had described this morning.
Okay, so that's all in the article. Okay, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Item number 12 is action to adopt ordinance 22-11, enacting a new section 62-38 of the official code of Paulding County, Georgia, regarding utility accommodations in rights of way. Do I hear a motion?
Make a
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Dunn. Is there a second?
Second.
By Commissioner Stover. And any discussion on this one? Hearing none, we will vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Item number 13 is action to adopt resolution 22-34, confirming executive session for the purpose of pending litigation and real estate. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Galloway. Any discussion on item 13? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. We did have our Planning and Zoning Commission meeting at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Let's see. We do that before? Yeah. Yeah. So from the Planning Commission meeting this afternoon, 2022-01-Z is application by Richard Butler, CO heirs of Butler Estate, requesting to rezone 0.74 acres from A1 Agricultural District to R2 Suburban Residential District, consisting of one single-family home, and to sell the family estate. The property is located in land lot 622, District 1, Section 3. The property address is 2725 Marshall Fuller Road, located in Post 2. Do I hear a motion?
Motion to approve.
Motion approved by Commissioner Caker. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dunn. Is there any discussion? I should have said the recommendation was with a vote by the Planning Commission to approve with a vote of 5, 0, and 1. So now we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries 5-0. Item 2022-22-Z is application by 219 Jet LLC, Yahui Liu, requesting to rezone approximately 29.099 acres from R2 Suburban Residential District to PRD Planned Residential Development District to R3, which is Seward Suburban Residential District, to develop a subdivision of approximately 34 single-family detached homes. The property is located in land lots 542 and 543, District 3, Section 2. Project site is located on the west side of the Dallas Ackworth Highway, south of Stonewood Creek Drive in Post 4. The recommendation by the Planning Commission was denial with a vote of 4-1-1, and it had the 10 stipulations. So we'll vote on that. First, I need a motion.
Make a motion for approval. But there's 10 stipulations that I have a question about, and some of the, in the meeting earlier, was wanting to get basically a waiver done at the same time. It sounded like for that driveway. George or Scott, could y'all answer the question? Should this be the time for the waiver, or should it just be done at the waiver review board for that driveway that he had talked about? Just
Chris might give a, maybe, I'll be glad to try it. Jason.
Yeah, Chris, why don't you
or Jason
Come
or somebody.
come up to the podium so that it's live streamed.
Good evening.
Good evening.
One of the requests by the applicant during the planning commission meeting was on stipulation number 3 regarding the 75-foot undisturbed buffer along Dallas Ackworth Highway. They were asking that that buffer start with a measure of 145 feet from the center line of Dallas Ackworth Highway, and also that it would have an allowance for one driveway that would go to 2 lots within that buffer. And that is a part of a stipulation that this was amended. And so I would have to ask the legal counsel if that's something we can do.
Commissioner Stover, I believe that we had clarified at the meeting earlier that because it was a state highway, we did not have a buffer requirement.
That's correct.
And that it was solely in the form of this recommended stipulation, which the applicant wanted it changed to 145 feet off the center line. So there would be nothing to waive since there's not a requirement.
Okay. I was confused a little bit, to tell you the truth earlier, so.
And Mr. Chair, just to clarify, there is a motion pending with no second at this point in time for approval with the 10 steps.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Stover, and I'll second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, we're ready to vote then. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Carries 5-0. The next item is 2022-23-Z, which is application by Harkamal Singh Gruel, requesting to rezone 4 parcels totaling approximately 39.7 acres from R2 Suburban Residential District and B1 General Business District to B2 Highway Business District for the construction of a gas distribution retail center. Property is located in land lots 968 and 969 in District 2, Section 3 on the southwest corner of the intersection of the Hiram Douglas Highway, which is State Route 92 and Bill Caruth Parkway in Post 3. The Planning Commission recommendation was approval with a vote of 5-0 and 1 with 8 stipulations. Do I hear a motion?
I would like to make a motion to approve, but I want to add some stipulations, and I want to change one and then add one. On number 8, I would like to add that the owner developer grants authority to the Paulding marshals to enforce the no overnight parking, so that it's not just up to the property owner to enforce that. And also number 9 would be no COAMs allowed anywhere on that property, and those are the coin-operated amusement machines, which are gambling basically, but they keep people around for a long time.
Could I have a motion to approve with amended stipulation 8. Did you write that down? You want to just echo what Virginia said?
Yes, sir. The motion is to approve it with the stipulations, with stipulation 8 being amended so as to indicate that there is no overnight parking on the premises and that the marshal's office would have the authority to ensure that that is a stipulation that is enforceable. And I will also add, from a legal perspective, it is enforceable if there is a zoning requirement that passes, regardless. And then there's additional stipulation number 9, no coin-operated amusement machines shall be allowed on the property.
So that is the motion that we have on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Dunn. Is there further discussion?
I don't think it was stated earlier, but what kind of station is this going to be? I mean, I know it's a gas station, but do you know what brand, or is it a?
As of now, we don't know, but it's going to be one of the premium ones like Exxon, Chevron, or BP.
Chevron or BP station? Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? It carries 5-0. 2022-4- special use permit is application by Michael Whitman Properties LLC, requesting a special use permit to construct a parking lot for a storage facility of large trucks. The property is located in Land Lot 19, District 2, Section 3, located on the south side of Industrial Boulevard North, west of the Dallas-Ackworth Highway in Post 4. The recommendation by the Planning Commission was to approve with a vote of 5, 0, and 1 with 4 stipulations. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve with the four stipulations.
A motion by Commissioner Stover to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Galloway. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we're ready to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0. 22-05 special use permit is application by Whitaker Investments LLC, Whitaker W. Smith, requesting a special use permit for the purposes of developing a gravel truck, trailer, and container storage facility. The property is located in land lots 605 and 620 in District 2, Section 3, on the northeast corner of the intersection of Thompson Road and Coppermine Road in Post 3. The recommendation by the Planning Commission was to approve with a vote of 4, 1, and 1, and 14 stipulations. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve by Commissioner Galloway. Is there a second?
Was that a motion yet to approve the stipulations?
Yes. Motion. We have a motion to approve with the 14 stipulations. So next thing is to get a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Caker. Is there any discussion?
One thing just to clear up as far as the special use permit that goes along with this, it's for container storages, but as far as truck parking, is part of this at all any overnight truck parking that goes along with the containers, or is it just container storage? And I don't even know where they're at. Oh, there he is.
See, yeah, Whitaker, why don't you come up to the podium and answer the board with that question?
Do I need to sign in? Okay. The intended use is for container storage. There will be a small number of trucks, but they won't be end users parking, paying a monthly fee to park there, that type of thing, like other truck parking facilities. So the vast majority of the usage is for container storage, but the tenant will have their own trucks on site, but a small number.
Jason, so if say 5-10 years down the road, this model goes away, say Austell expands and they don't need container storage on that site, could somebody just start parking trucks on that site instead of containers, or is there, I'm just trying to get a clarification of, because things do change, so.
Yes, right now, the way it is drafted, presuming that truck storage is an authorized use, if this zoning does pass, then trucks would be permitted to park there. If the desire is to eliminate that possibility, the applicant could agree to limit overnight truck parking to those trucks solely owned by the owner of the property. And you could also ask the applicant if he would be willing to put a numerical limit on that.
Should I repeat it, or you me?
So I'm not comfortable with a numerical limit from the I understand, but I don't know how many the tenant may have. Would you say just the tenant's trucks is? I think that's okay as long. They might be a related party to the tenant, and as far, but it won't be a for rent by the spot truck lot.
Right, and that's where some of my concern would be, is because we've went from having blankets of zonings in the past, and they end up being in residential areas.
Sure.
And we've trying to control it to the best of our ability. So I'm just trying to get a clear answer of where we stand and what can happen, because things change.
Sure,
everybody knows that. So I ain't trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make a clarification so
Sure.
that something does change, where we stand in the future.
Well, I believe the applicant can voluntarily agree to limit the number by number, or limit it to trucks owned by the tenant of the premises only. But then again, you could get a tenant on the premise that owns many trucks.
Well, now, you did say that you're not gonna have by the night rent, or
Yes,
by the
sir.
month rental.
Yes,
So
sir.
we could limit it, put a stipulation that it's not for monthly rental of truck parking, maybe? I don't know.
The tenant will be paying monthly rent, but
Well, I'm talking about
I understand.
Mhm.
So, I would I understand what you're getting at, and it's kind of hard to word it.
You say no overnight parking of trucks on a rental basis. No overnight rental parking.
Probably the single truck. Could we put like the single?
Yeah, I see what you're saying
Yeah.
there. So how do you,
Yeah. No. Does that make sense? Like the single, because that a lot of the truck parking is the tenant that might have several hundred tenants, and it's an operation of individual truckers, and that's not what we're trying to do.
right, but how do we prevent, all I'm asking is, I don't know who can answer this question from staff or what, but as far as how do we prevent they go from container storage to 100% truck rental parking overnight if something changes? If we're voting on container storage.
I know the applicant doesn't want to commit, but it's, if you need to consult with your counsel,
If you don't mind, I would like just a moment.
and if we need to move to another item and come back to this one, we can do that as well.
So, we're comfortable with tenant-owned or non-individual user is, and pay, so, I guess tenant-owned or associated with tenant would be, but, I don't, again, our we're not anticipating, and I understand what you're trying to say, but I don't know how to word it, because I don't know the number,
So would you be agreeable to a voluntary stipulation which basically says that,
No more than 50% of the property is truck parking,
Sure.
or
or
30%,
you could also say, no overnight parking of trucks is permitted on the property unless those vehicles are owned by the landowner or the tenant of the property.
Okay. Is that? Okay.
Okay, so just to restate that. Sir, are you agreeable to adding an additional voluntary stipulation which says that you agree that on this property there shall be no overnight parking of any trucks unless those trucks are owned by the landowner or owned by the tenant of the property?
My only concern is if there's one or two trucks that are working for the tenant that's not owned by the tenant.
Yeah, I can see what he's saying, and that's
I would be
Right.
much more comfortable doing a percentage of the land. If that.
Can I complicate
Oh,
it
yeah,
further?
oh, gosh.
One more step. Could we instead, understanding that your concern is that we don't have independent truck parking, I mean, I'm a trucker, I pay a monthly rent to park my truck here overnight. Could we instead limit it to no overnight parking that's not related to the business?
Well, if the business is great for the first 2 years, but then the property gets sold and his business becomes a truck parking lot, then it's all related to the business.
Right, I guess. Listen, I think that the tenant or property owner, understanding that there are nuances where maybe the tenant isn't the owner of record of the actual truck, but that's their truck that they're using for their operations, I think that we can live with that. Do we agree that there's a little nuance there in like all the scenarios of the trucks? But if it's
sure.
the tenant's fleet of trucks, then they can park them on the site. Is that
So the
reasonable?
stipulation then would be that the applicant agrees there will be no overnight parking of trucks unless those trucks are owned by the landowner or they are part of the fleet of the tenant for the property.
I'm sorry, that's getting really specific too. Can we go back to just tenant or property owner?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I assume we can. We'll see what these 5 people
Okay,
say.
right. Thank you, I appreciate it.
So just to clarify, Mr. Chairman, we have a motion and a second. If the board is inclined to add that as part of a stipulation, which I think would be appropriate here, I would recommend that Ms. Galloway withdraw her motion at this point in time, or we can go through the fun process of amending a motion. Either way is fine.
I will withdraw it, and then may I then
Yes.
bring it back with adding that stipulation that you just stated so eloquently.
So that would be stipulation 15 for the record.
All right, so Ms. Galloway has made a motion to approve with the 14 listed stipulations, plus a 15th stipulation that there will be no overnight parking of trucks on the property unless those trucks are owned by the property owner or owned by the tenant.
And since I took up everybody's time to get it done, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Galloway with a second by Commissioner Stover, and we've had some discussion about this 15th stipulation. Is there further discussion, comments? Okay, if not, we're ready to vote then. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries 5-0. And finally, 2022-24Z. It's application by Cameron Saadi and Vamana Saadi, requesting to rezone a 1-acre property from B1 General Business District back to R2 Suburban Residential District for zoning compliance with surrounding residential areas. The property is located in land lots 1249, District 3, Section 3, on the north side of Chester Harris Road, west of Dallas Ackworth Highway. The address is 156 Chester Harris Drive, located in Post 4. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve with the 3 stipulations.
Thank you. Motion approved with the 3 stipulations that was requested with a 501 vote by the Planning Commission. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dunn. Any discussion on this final one? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And any opposed? Carries 5-0. That is, let's see, we've got some people that can speak. I've got 3. Okay. So those that have signed up for public participation on non-agenda items are Ms. Kawana Walker, and she would like to speak to us on youth initiatives and programs for Paulding County. Ms. Walker, are you here? Yeah, please come forward, and thank you for being here.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am here to discuss our county's current position to offer youth initiatives that support a quality of life. We're currently in jeopardy of losing one of our most valuable resources, the Boys and Girls Club, as you guys know. This facility is the one facility that services multiple schools, and it provides programming opportunities for our children to see beyond our zip code. It is important that we find agreeable terms for the board, the county, the school board, and organizations to participate with offering services and programming for our students. Not coming to agreeable terms is detrimental for our community. This doesn't just affect the discontinuation of the Boys and Girls Club organization in our community. This affects all working families who rely on that center to help us give our kids experiences that let them see opportunities that they can grow and develop into. We as a county need to take control over offering those opportunities for our children. The disparity that is currently given between the Recs department and programming is vast. The Rec department do not offer programming that is accessible to our children or to our community. They have very limited access. They don't really have a lot of programs that interest most of our children. We have a lot of athletic children in our community, and we need to support that element. And also looking at the opportunity to invite these new residents and businesses to participate in us growing opportunities for funding, both locally, federally, on the federal level, to help support these initiatives so that it helps with the cost of operation. So with that being said, is there any way for us to discover agreeable terms that we can continue to facilitate offering programming in our community and to repeal the current closure of this facility? Because nobody is thinking about the detrimental causes to the families that are affected. Our current schools are at capacity, our Learning Bridge at capacity. Most daycare centers in this community are at capacity. And if we're already enrolled to participate in a service to help us with our children and to have that removed, then what do? We leave our children at home to be unattended? That's not good. We have to look at the quality of life. We're inviting new residents to our county to live, but once they get here, we don't offer services that allow them to support their family. And no matter what our household incomes are, we all work the same to earn our dollars. Everybody works a lot, and we have to have the accessibility for programming here at home. It's essential to the growth of our county and to show that we value our entry-level citizens. They are important, and it's inhumane not to consider what's going to happen with that closure. So I'm just here to appeal to the board come back to the table, let's agree on some terms of which we can operate in order for us to simply offer services to our citizens. And we have to put our children at the forefront of all of those decisions we're making, and not just think about, I don't want to do business with this organization. Let's let the organization do business with us. We have a lot of big businesses here who have foundations that will provide support as well. We need to explore those things. So with all of the new businesses coming here, make them invest in the quality of life experience that we have here in Paulding County. That's going to be essential to the growth with the expansion of the subdivisions. We have to be able to accommodate our community, and currently we're in jeopardy of losing that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Very well spoken, and we feel your pain. Ms. Felicia Tatum would also like to speak on youth programs for Boys and Girls Club. Ms. Tatum?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Many of you I do know, some I don't. It's been a lot of years. Good to see you. I am a, 3-generation parent of children in the Boys and Girls Club here in Paulding County. 3 generations over the 20 years that you guys fantastically worked with the school board, and 20 years ago obtained a grant for a huge amount and built the annex that we now have, the Learning Center, Game Center, and all kind of incredible opportunities for the kids to enjoy, on to the Matthews Gym. I understand you guys managed that all these years, and have allowed this to be an incredible, incredible place for many of the kids, for many to, not just for leadership and development and programming, but for some to just even experience what family feels like. For some, even my son, to save their lives. And that's the truth. Just from the leadership and the people that put in their time and effort as parents, as employees, and community members that come and volunteer. You all did an incredible thing when you got that grant. My concern is, why are you turning your back on the youth of our county now? You all made a decision, did a little research, found out, in partnership, of course, with the school board back when you got that grant, after the executive director of Boys and Girls Club Metro Atlanta, David Gergen, provided this incredible wish list that I'm sure would be a magical club anywhere. But of course, are not necessarily all needed things at our club to you. And I can imagine it was expensive. I guess it was kind of coincidental at that time you decided that you no longer wanted to manage the club. You no longer wanted to have ownership in regards to the club. You basically just turned your back on the youth of our children here in this county. At that point, you went ahead and said, hey, school board, tell you what, since we were partners in this thing, you guys take over dealing with the Boys and Girls Club now. Well, just so happened when you did that, you opened the door to Metro Atlanta Executive Director, Mr. David Gergen, to then do what he attempted to do 2 years ago during COVID, which was to try to close the doors here in our county. That just people like me, 4 generations of children have come through. When you did that 2 years ago, he determined he was going to close us. Gave us a wish list, told us a big amount of almost $200,000 we had to raise in less than 60 days to keep the doors open. Well, God is good, because we raised even more than what he asked for in a pandemic. And thank God we kept those doors open. Well, sadly, when you guys decided to just turn your backs and say, hey, school board, take over, that gave them another opening just this summer. Our executive director, well, rather superintendent, was on vacation for 2 weeks. It was at that point, after you said you're going to let the school take over, just that little 2-week period. He had sent a letter. Our superintendent, of course, didn't get it. He didn't respond and wasn't able to follow up to work out things that we're going to do to go forward. So our executive director of Metro Atlanta, David Gergen, he then decided, tell you what, don't worry about it. Sent a letter and said to us as parents, 3 days before school started, through a text message service, that your club will be closed in 60 days. Keep in mind, parents have already paid, registered, thinking that they've got a safe place for their children to go and know that they're going to be taken care of and learn and grow. 3 days before school starts, he sends his letter and said it's closing in 60 days. What do working families do? Our high schoolers get out last. What are our elementary schoolers all going to be latchkey kids now? Kindergartners going to get off the bus now by themselves? See, because that's what's going to happen. And I don't think that he thought that through. And I know as a commission, I'm sure when you made the decision to turn your back and say, hey, school board, take over, I know that's not what you wanted because you all fight for this county. So I'm asking you to fight for us again. And I'm asking you to be accountable for every child in this county. I have lived here since, I appreciate it. I'm going to wrap it up. But if you can give me a little grace, I appreciate it. In this time frame, the superintendent has worked nonstop trying to convince Mr. Gergen, please don't do this. Mr. Gergen is determined in Metro Atlanta that he's doing it. 60 days, September 30th is the last day that he wants us to close it. And he has offered to have a celebratory party for us to close the club. Can you imagine? The celebratory party. It's hard enough to look at these children's faces and know this. The little ones really don't know yet. The bigger ones do. On top of all of the stress these kids are facing, we're still in a pandemic. Got all kind of diseases going on, everything. Overcrowding on our buses, 3-4 kids in the
Ms. Tatum,
seat.
your time is up.
Appreciate it. I need you guys to please own what you started. Please reconsider and work with Mr. Burnett and keep these doors open for these children. Thank you, and I appreciate you allowing me the additional time. God bless each of you.
And we'd like to welcome Ms. LaToya Robertson to also speak on community outreach for the Boys and Girls Club.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm basically just going to piggyback off of what Ms. Walker and Ms. Tatum had to say. I'm not good at public speaking, so bear with me. I was one of those parents, if I get emotional, excuse me, who learned about the Boys and Girls Club because my kids had to be latchkey kids. In 2013, we just moved here. I was working in Carrollton, Georgia, 45-minute commute to and from easily. I was there to see my kids get on the bus, wasn't there to see them get off. One of the tenants in the apartment where we were living took it upon herself to call CPS on me. And I get a call from a caseworker named Miss Roach, I'll never forget that name, questioning, wanting to know why are my kids being inside for the amount of hours that they were. But little did they know, I have 4 kids. I had three in elementary, 1 in middle school. So when everybody got in together, I had a cousin, a friend who I grew up with, that lived over on the other side by East Paulden. Once everybody got in, she came to pick them up, but nobody seen that. So Ms. Roach contacted me, long story short. She come to the house, we had a meeting, I explained to her what was going on. She gave me a list of resources. Boys and Girls Club was on that list. It was the first place that I called immediately at the time. Mr. Dixon was over it. He called, he told me to come right on in. I got everything that he needed to go in. My kids were able to start the Boys and Girls Club the following week. If those doors closed, and if I was that same woman, my kids are now much older. They do not attend the Boys and Girls Club anymore. But I can only imagine another single mother in my position at that time not having that resource if they needed it, if the doors closed. Being a newly divorced single mother at that one friend who I considered my family was the only person that I had to call on. And if she wasn't there, you know, God knows what would have happened to my kids if things didn't happen the way that they did. So I don't have a long history here in Paulding County. I've only been here 9 years. But within those few years that my kid did attend, every staff member that was there has become like family to us. I still communicate with those people till this day. My kids gained a lot of friends from the Boys and Girls Club. My kids gained a lot of exposure to a lot of things. Teamwork, just being, I have 2 young men and 2 young women, and it helped them a lot. And when I walked into the Boys and Girls Club yesterday, it was just this nostalgic feeling. My kids haven't been there in 4 years, but everything from every day that I would walk in there to pick my kids up, I had other people's kids running up to me, giving me hugs, because that's just how much of a family environment is in there. And if those doors close, it is going to be one of the most detrimental feelings. My kids are devastated because they know our story. So I'm asking on behalf of the Paulding County Boys and Girls Club to please reconsider closing those doors, because it's not good. It's not good. Every family, every mother cannot afford after school care. After school nurseries are expensive to put your child in there. Parents don't work the same times. They come, they pick you up, they have transportation. It's hard. It's really hard. And I'm thankful to have had them when I needed them, because I could have been in a position where I've had to quit my job and then me and my kids are homeless because we had nowhere, I had no resources. It was affordable and it was efficient at the time, and it came right on time when I needed it. And I thank God for that. So again, please reconsider. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Robertson and Ms. Tatum and Ms. Walker. I don't know if there's words. My wife, social worker, and probably a lot of you know her, Lou Carmichael. And I spent plenty of time picking up boys and taking them to Hawks games and doing a lot of things with them on the playground. But the county, government's not the answer to everything. And actually, the county is prohibited from donating money to any 501c3. But I ask Mr. Phillips if he would comment on maybe things more from a legal side.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And, the words that I'm going to say are going to sound, unfortunately, they're going to sound empty and callous because they don't diminish any of the situations that you find yourself in, that you've dealt with, the struggles. Those are everybody has struggles. Those are real struggles that regardless of what happens up here, or if the county decides to stop funding or participating in that agreement because of a legal reason, those struggles remain, and unfortunately, you're in a situation where you've got to deal with that change in circumstance. In this situation, the Boys and Girls Club was originally funded through a federal block grant that the county administered sometime in the 1990s. When that original lease expired, there was a renewal of that lease. This is for the Matthews Gym, which is a facility that is not owned by Paulding County government. Because it is not owned by Paulding County government, the Paulding County has no control over that facility. I was asked to review the lease, and I reviewed it, and in reviewing it, I determined that, well, while the county doesn't own that property, the county is also prohibited from going onto that property and using it for any other purpose per the conditions of the lease. The lease provided that the county had to provide insurance coverage for the operation of the Boys and Girls Club, for their operations within the building that the county was not authorized to control. Moreover, the county has no legal authority to provide insurance for non-county functions, for nonprofits. The Georgia Constitution prohibits both the General Assembly and county and city governments from providing taxpayer money for the benefit of non-governmental entities unless the government receives a substantial public benefit in return. In this situation, it's not as if the Boys and Girls Club didn't provide a great asset to those families it impacted. But as a whole, this lease appeared to violate the gratuities clause of the Georgia Constitution because it required the county to do things at a property over which it had no control, and to provide insurance for operations that were not county government in nature. And because of that, that's what we call an ultra vires situation. A bunch of legal terms for it's prohibited by state law under the Georgia Constitution. And because of that, the county removed its involvement from continuing any operations at that facility. Now, what the Metro Atlanta Boys and Girls Club decided to do, or decided to not do and turn away through any communication given to you by Mr. Jernigan, Paulding County has no control over that. That is not affiliated with county government. So that's a long way to say there was a legal problem with continuing with that lease, and the county removed itself from it because of the requirements of Georgia law.
Thank you, Jason. I'm going to be here, and so after we adjourn, if any of you want to talk personally to me, I'll be glad to talk with you. But at this time, with no executive session, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion to adjourn by Commissioner Stover and a second by Commissioner Galloway. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries 5-0, and we stand adjourned.